I swear, people can't take a joke anymore. Like, everyone is so sensitive these days. Everyone takes everything so seriously. Can't anyone just relax and laugh things off like they used to? I was drunk. Drunk. Everyone says things when they're drunk. Things they don't mean. Things that just slip out because the filter between brain and mouth stops working. That's what happens when you drink. You lose your inhibitions. You say things you wouldn't normally say. You make mistakes that shouldn't define you. It wasn't even serious. I was just venting, just letting off steam, just expressing some frustrations that had been building up. That's what adults do, right? They communicate. They express their feelings. They don't bottle everything up until they explode. I wasn't actually comparing them. Not really. I just jokingly mentioned one detail. One tiny detail. One little observation that slipped out in a moment of weakness. It wasn't a full comparison. It wasn't a systematic breakdown of who was better at what. It was just one comment. One single comment that everyone is blowing completely out of proportion. And anyway, it's not like my husband is perfect either. He has his flaws. He has his issues. He has things he could improve on. So why should I be the only one being judged? Why should I be the only one held accountable for one mistake? He should have laughed it off. Should have recognized I was drunk and not thinking clearly. Should have been the bigger person and just let it go. I didn't cheat. That's the important thing everyone needs to understand. I didn't physically do anything wrong. I just made a phone call. One phone call. That's it. Everyone needs closure sometimes. Everyone needs to revisit the past occasionally to make sense of the present. That's just human nature. That's just processing emotions. That's just normal behavior. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit hype to boost this episode. Drop a comment below with your city or country. I'm always curious where viewers are joining from. What I conveniently hide when I tell this story, what I minimize and downplay and pretend isn't the real issue, is exactly what I said during that phone call. The actual words that left my mouth. The specific comparison that destroyed my marriage in one drunken moment. You were always better in bed than he ever was. I said that, out loud, to my ex-boyfriend, while my husband was in the next room, while drunk enough to think it was a good idea but sober enough to know exactly what I was saying. But I don't lead with that information. I don't open with those words, because opening with those words would make me the obvious villain. And I'm not ready to be the villain yet. I need to build my case first, because that's how I operate. I frame things in my favor first, establish myself as reasonable, and only then reveal the full truth. It's a pattern I've perfected. I'm always the misunderstood one, the one whose intentions were good, the one being unfairly judged. Until now. Until I said something so unforgivable that no framing can save me. But I still try. Let me take you to the moment everything exploded, the moment my marriage ended, the moment I learned that some words can't be taken back no matter how drunk you were when you said them. We're at home after a small gathering, nothing fancy, just 6 of our friends over for dinner and drinks. A casual Saturday evening, the kind of night that's supposed to be fun and relaxing and bring couples closer together. I'm tipsy. More than tipsy, actually. I'd had 3 glasses of wine during dinner, then 2 cocktails after, then someone opened tequila and I had a shot, maybe 2 shots. The room is spinning slightly, but I feel great. Loose, uninhibited, emotional in that way where everything feels important and profound. Our friends have just left. The apartment is messy. My husband is cleaning up like always. The party had been good, everyone laughing and drinking. I'd felt alive, but I hadn't noticed my husband getting quieter, hadn't seen his concern when I poured my 4th drink, hadn't heard him suggest I slow down. One of our friends had brought up my ex at some point, and I'd answered, had said his name, had maybe talked too enthusiastically about memories, had maybe not noticed my husband going quiet. My husband had tried to redirect, but I kept circling back, kept adding details, kept making it clear I remembered everything about that relationship. And now, an hour after everyone left, I'm drunk dialing the ex I can't stop talking about. He steps into the kitchen for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes to load the dishwasher. And in those 5 minutes, my drunk brain decides to do something incredibly stupid. I'm sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, and I see his name. My ex. My ex from 4 years ago. The one I dated before my husband. The one I claimed I was completely over. The one I said meant nothing to me anymore. His name is still in my contacts. Do not call written next to it. A reminder I added 2 years ago during a moment of clarity. A warning to my future drunk self not to do exactly what I'm about to do. But drunk me doesn't care about warnings. Drunk me craves attention and validation and drama. I hit call. It rings 3 times. I'm about to hang up, about to come to my senses, when he picks up. Hello? He sounds confused, cautious, like he's checking if this is really me or a pocket dial. And instead of hanging up like a reasonable person, instead of apologizing for calling, instead of doing anything rational, I slur into the phone, loudly, because drunk people don't understand volume control. Well, at least you knew how to satisfy me, better than he ever could. The moment the words leave my mouth, I hear footsteps behind me. My husband walks back into the living room. He'd come back early from the kitchen, had probably heard my voice and came to see who I was talking to, and he heard everything. His face doesn't change, doesn't register shock or hurt or anger. It just goes blank, completely blank, like someone hit a reset button and erased all his emotions. Calm, too calm. The kind of calm that's actually terrifying. My heart drops straight through the floor, through the foundation of the building, down to the center of the earth. I panic immediately. Babe, wait, it's not what it sounds like. But even as I'm saying it, I don't hang up the phone. I'm still connected to my ex, still on the call, still giving my husband visual proof of exactly what it sounds like. My ex is saying something on the other end. I can hear his voice but can't process the words, because I'm too busy watching my husband's face remain terrifyingly blank. My husband looks at me for one long moment, then walks past me without a word, without yelling, without asking questions, without giving me a chance to explain. He just walks past me like I'm not even there, like I'm furniture, like I'm nothing. And that's somehow worse than any reaction I could have imagined. Otrabadati asal tportil an Orshabaukrnautin darsileirchasayan ner. At first, I think he's ignoring me. I think this is some kind of silent treatment. I'm still holding the phone, still connected to my ex. And because drunk me has terrible judgment, I keep rambling. No, don't worry, he's not mad. He's fine. Everything's fine. My ex is saying something. Are you sure? That sounded bad. Maybe hang up and talk to him. But I don't want to hang up. Don't want to face my husband. So I keep talking to my ex. He'll get over it. He always does. He's just sensitive, you know. Even drunk, I can hear how terrible that sounds. Honestly, you always were better at... I stop mid-sentence because I hear something that makes my blood run cold. The front door opening. Not the bedroom door, not a closet door. The front door. The door that leads outside. The door that means leaving. I stumble into the hallway, my drunk legs not quite working right, and I freeze. My husband is standing at the open front door. He's holding my suitcase, the big rolling suitcase we use for trips, and it's packed, full, zipped up. He sets it outside on the porch with careful precision, then goes back inside and returns with my shoes. My coat, my phone charger, all the little things I'd need if I were leaving, all neatly gathered, all deliberately collected. He places them next to the suitcase. I try to laugh it off because surely this is a joke. Surely he's making a dramatic point and will let me back in once I apologize. Surely this isn't actually happening. Seriously, you're… What, pretending to kick me out? Stop being dramatic. My voice sounds wrong, too shrill, too desperate, not confident at all. Not like someone who believes what they're saying. Because I don't believe it. Not really. Some part of me, the part that's getting more sober by the second, knows this is serious. Knows this isn't a dramatic gesture. Knows I finally pushed him too far. But I can't admit that yet. Can't face it. So I keep acting like this is no big deal. Like he's overreacting. Like I'm the reasonable one being confronted by someone irrational. He looks at me with those blank eyes, that terrifying calm face, the face of someone who's made a decision and won't be talked out of it. And he says, very quietly, very clearly, with perfect diction, so there's no mistaking what he means, you should finish your call outside. The words don't process at first. They bounce off my drunk brain without landing. They don't make sense. They can't mean what they seem to mean. Outside? Finish my call outside? Why would I finish my call outside? Then it hits me. He's telling me to leave. He's actually telling me to leave our home, our apartment, the space we've shared for 3 years, the life we've built together. Wait, you're not serious. And he closes the door in my face. Not slammed, just closed. With a soft click that somehow sounds louder than any slam ever could. I'm standing in the hallway outside our apartment door, still holding my phone, still connected to my ex, still drunk but suddenly getting very sober very fast. I hear my ex's voice through the phone, distant, confused, concerned. What is happening over there? Are you okay? And then I hear the click of him hanging up. Even my ex doesn't want to be part of this disaster. I'm alone in the hallway with a suitcase and the dawning realization that I just destroyed my marriage with one drunken phone call. I bang on the door. Both fists. Loud enough that neighbors will definitely hear. Loud enough to be embarrassing, but I'm too panicked to care about embarrassment. Let me in. Are you crazy? It was a joke. No answer. Just silence from the other side of the door. Thick, heavy silence that tells me he's right there. Right on the other side. Listening to me beg and choosing not to respond. I bang again. Harder. My fists are starting to hurt, but I don't care. I'm sorry. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Still nothing. And that silence is worse than yelling. Worse than anger. Because silence means he's done listening. Done caring. Done being hurt by me because he's chosen to stop feeling anything about me at all. Please, just let me explain. It wasn't what it sounded like. Even as I say it, I know how hollow it sounds, because it was exactly what it sounded like. There's no other interpretation. No way to spin, you were always better in bed than he ever was, into something innocent. Then I see the light under the door disappear. He's turned off the porch light, leaving me standing in darkness with a suitcase, like some kind of person who got thrown out of their own home. Which is exactly what I am. Because that's exactly what happened. A door opens down the hall. Mrs. Rodriguez from 3B peers out in her bathrobe, looking concerned. Everything okay out here? I'm mortified. Fine, just forgot my keys. She looks at the suitcase, then at my tear-streaked face, then at the closed door. Honey, do you need to call someone? No, I'm fine. But she doesn't go back inside. She stays watching, a witness to my humiliation. Mr. Chen's door opens across the hall. Is there a problem? No problem, I say too brightly. They exchange a glance. Everyone knows. Everyone sees what I've done. I pull out my phone and start messaging him frantically. Open the door. Read. No response. It didn't mean anything. Read. No response. You're overreacting. Read. Still no response. But I can see he's online. See he's reading these messages as they come in. Choosing not to answer. Making a point. It's your fault for making me feel insecure. That last one I regret immediately, but I send it anyway because drunk me is still making decisions, and drunk me is terrible at decisions. Drunk me thinks attacking is better than admitting fault. Drunk me thinks, if I can make this his problem, maybe I can avoid taking responsibility for my own actions. Read. And now I see him typing. Finally, he's going to respond. He's going to engage. Maybe we can talk this through. Maybe I can explain. Maybe... He stops typing. The typing indicator disappears. He's deleted whatever he was going to say. I wait, staring at my phone, willing him to type again, to say something, anything. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass. I'm sitting on my suitcase in the hallway, like some kind of abandoned luggage. Mrs. Rodriguez has gone back inside, but I can tell she's still watching through her peephole. Mr. Chen is definitely still listening from his apartment. Finally, my phone buzzes. A text from him. Just one text. 7 words that feel like a punch to the stomach. If he's better, call him again. I stare at those words, read them over and over, feel them sink in like acid, each word precise and cutting and devastating. He's telling me to leave. He's telling me to go be with someone else. He's telling me our marriage is over because of what I said. He's also telling me he knows. He knows I've been comparing them. He knows I've never fully gotten over my ex. He knows that what I said wasn't just a drunken slip. It was the truth finally coming out. All from one drunk phone call. One stupid drunken moment of saying something I shouldn't have said. Except it wasn't one moment. It's been years of moments. Years of me holding on to my past. Years of me measuring my husband against someone else and finding him wanting. Years of emotional infidelity that finally became verbal infidelity that finally destroyed everything. I try to respond, but I don't know what to say. I didn't mean it. Sounds hollow because I did mean it on some level. I was drunk. Sounds like an excuse because drunk words are sober thoughts. Please forgive me. Sounds pathetic because why should he forgive someone who just told another man he was better than her husband? So I say nothing. I just sit there in the hallway, getting more sober by the minute, understanding more and more what I've done. The phone buzzes again. Another text. I packed your stuff because I knew this was coming. I've known for months that you're not over him. Tonight just confirmed it. My heart sinks even lower. He knew. He's been knowing. He's been watching me hold on to my ex while pretending to be committed to our marriage. Another text. I deserve better than someone who compares me to their ex, who calls their ex drunk, who tells their ex they're better in bed. I deserve someone who chooses me, and you never did. He's right. He's absolutely right. And I don't know how to argue with the truth. One more text. Don't contact me again tonight. Sleep it off. We'll talk lawyer stuff tomorrow. Lawyer stuff. Divorce. It's really over. In one night, with one phone call, I've ended my marriage. So, out of desperation, out of panic, out of the terrible need to not be alone in this hallway, I text my ex. The ex I just called. The ex I just compared my husband to. The ex I apparently said was better. My fingers hover over the keyboard. What do I even say? How do I explain the situation? How do I ask the person I just praised to help me deal with the consequences of praising them? I type, "Can I come over?" He kicked me out. It feels wrong the moment I send it. Feels manipulative. Feels like I'm using my ex as a backup plan. Feels like exactly the kind of thing that proves my husband was right about me. I stare at my phone, watching for the read receipt, watching for the typing indicator, watching for any sign that my ex is going to save me from this situation I created. The message delivers, sits there, unread for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Maybe he's asleep. Maybe he didn't hear his phone. Maybe, read, he's read it. And now I see the 3 dots appear. He's typing. Thank God he's typing. Someone is going to help me. Someone is going to take me in. Someone is going to... The 3 dots appear and disappear and appear again. He's typing and deleting and typing again, struggling with what to say, trying to find the right words. This takes forever. This back and forth of typing and deleting. And I'm getting more anxious with every second. More desperate. More panicked about what he's going to say. Finally, after what feels like forever, his response comes through. No, I don't want to be involved in your marriage drama. The words are cold, final, absolute, like a door slamming in my face for the second time tonight. Not, are you okay? Not, what happened? Not, do you need help? Just, no. A complete rejection, a refusal to be part of this disaster. I type back desperately, please, I have nowhere to go. This time the 3 dots don't even appear. No response, no acknowledgement, just silence. I wait, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, still nothing. I try calling. It rings once and goes straight to voicemail. Not rejected, blocked. He blocked me mid-conversation, right after I asked for help. Then I see it, the notification that makes everything worse. You can no longer send messages to this contact. He blocked me. My ex actually blocked me. The man I just praised to my husband, the man I just said was better, the man I apparently couldn't stop thinking about, he wants nothing to do with me. So now I have no husband, no ex, no apartment to go back to, nowhere to go. I'm sitting in a hallway at midnight, drunk and crying, with a suitcase and a dead phone battery, and absolutely no options. I try calling my best friend. It rings and goes to voicemail. I try again. Same thing. She's probably asleep. Probably has her phone on silent. Probably not available for middle-of-the-night crisis management. I try my sister. No answer. I try my mom. She picks up on the 4th ring, voice groggy and annoyed. Do you know what time it is? Mom, I need help. Can I come stay with you tonight? What happened? Where's your husband? We had a fight. He kicked me out. Silence. Long silence. The kind of silence that means she's deciding whether to help me or not. What did you do? Why do you assume I did something? Because he's not the type to kick you out over nothing. What did you do? I hesitate. I called my ex, while drunk, and said some things. More silence. Even longer this time. What things? I don't want to talk about it. Then I don't want you staying here. Figure it out yourself. Mom! No, you made a choice. You deal with the consequences. Don't call me until you're ready to take responsibility. She hangs up. My own mother hangs up on me. I'm completely alone. Completely without support. Completely screwed. Nan o shafa iu, and I to check on ein etstube. And I end up sleeping in my car. In the parking garage, curled up in the back seat because I'm too drunk to drive anywhere and too proud to sleep in the hallway. The garage is cold, dark. Every sound echoes. I use my coat as a blanket, but it's not enough. My suitcase as a pillow, but it's hard and uncomfortable. I cry until I can't cry anymore, until my eyes are swollen and there are no tears left. And then I just lie there, finally sober enough to fully understand what I've done. The sobriety is the worst part. I can't lie to myself anymore. I called my ex, while married, while my husband was 20 feet away, and I told my ex he was better. I compared them, explicitly, cruelly, where my husband could hear, and I didn't even hang up when he walked in. I kept talking, kept disrespecting my marriage, kept choosing my ex over my husband. What kind of wife does that? A terrible one, someone who never fully committed, someone who kept her ex as a measuring stick, someone who destroyed a good relationship because she couldn't let go. I drift in and out of sleep, cold and uncomfortable, having nightmares about my husband's blank face, about the door closing. Around 3 a.m. I hear voices, a couple walking through the garage, laughing, happy, probably in love, probably not destroying their relationship. I freeze. Don't want them to see me sleeping in my car. but they pass without noticing. I think about my husband. Wonder if he's sleeping. Wonder if he's relieved I'm gone. I think about my ex. Wonder why I called him. Wonder if I really think he's better or if I just wanted to hurt my husband. Around 5 a.m., I give up on sleep. Look at myself in the rearview mirror. I look terrible. Makeup smeared, hair a mess, eyes swollen, the face of someone who destroyed everything. And I feel something I don't want to admit. Relief. Because maybe I wanted this. Maybe I needed to blow up my marriage because I was never going to leave on my own. Maybe I called my ex because some part of me wanted my husband to hear. The thought makes me sick, but I can't stop thinking it. At sunrise, I wake up stiff and hungover, head pounding, mouth tasting terrible. I check my phone, 3% battery. I plug in my charger and wait. Messages flood in. None of them good. Sarah, your husband told me what you did. Don't contact me for a while. My sister, Mom told me. I can't believe you. Get help. Mutual friends. Taking his side. What you did was messed up. My mom. I've never been so ashamed. Don't come home. Everyone has chosen him. Because I'm the villain. I get out of my car looking like someone who slept in it. Because I did. I take the elevator up, walk down the hallway pulling my suitcase. Past Mrs. Rodriguez's closed door. Past Mr. Chen's. Everyone knows. I reach our door. Raise my hand to knock. The door opens before I touch it. My husband stands there, dressed, exhausted but determined, holding a trash bag. This is the rest of your stuff. My heart drops, sinks into my shoes, through the floor, into the earth's core. What? My voice comes out small, broken. Anything you left behind last night when I packed your suitcase. It's all there. Your toiletries, your books, some clothes that were in the laundry. Don't worry, I didn't throw anything away. I'm not like that. I just packed it up so you have everything. His voice is so calm, so matter-of-fact. Like he's describing what he had for breakfast instead of ending our marriage. Can we please talk about this? I'm begging now. Actually begging. No pride left. No. Just that. Just no. Flat and final. I was drunk. I didn't mean what I said. He looks at me then. Really looks at me. And what I see in his eyes is worse than anger. It's pity, disappointment, resignation. Drunk words are sober thoughts. He says it like he's been rehearsing. Like he knew I'd use that excuse and he prepared his response. That's not fair. People say things when they're drunk. Yes, they do. They say things they're thinking, but wouldn't normally say out loud. They lose their filter, but the thoughts are still there. The feelings are still there. You just finally said out loud what you've been thinking for years. I open my mouth to protest, but he holds up a hand. Don't insult me by pretending you weren't thinking it. Don't act like last night was some random drunken slip. You compared me to your ex, in our home. While I was close enough to hear, you called him specifically to tell him he was better than your husband. That's not an accident, that's a choice. I didn't choose to hurt you. You chose to call him. You chose to say those words. You chose to keep talking, even after I walked in, and you knew I could hear. You made a lot of choices last night, and all of them were choices to hurt me. Tears are streaming down my face now, snot running from my nose. I'm ugly crying in front of my apartment door, while he stands there calm and composed and done with me. Please, I love you, I made a mistake, one mistake. Don't throw away our marriage over one mistake. He laughs, actually laughs. But it's bitter, hollow. One mistake, let's be real. This isn't one mistake. This is you revealing what you've been hiding. This is 3 years of you never fully committing to our marriage coming to the surface. This is you showing me who you really are. That's not true. Isn't it? Be honest. For once, just be honest. Have you been over him? Really over him? Or have you been comparing us this whole time? I hesitate. Just for a second, just a tiny pause before I answer, and that pause tells him everything. Yeah, he nods. That's what I thought. You've been comparing me to him since day one. Wondering if you settled, wondering if you made the right choice, wondering if the grass was greener with him. I chose you, I married you. You married me because he was gone, because I was there, because I was safe and stable and I treated you well. But you never chose me. Your heart never chose me. Part of you was always still with him. He's right, every word is right. And I hate that he's right. Hate that he can see through me so clearly. Hate that I've been so transparent and didn't even know it. One mistake. We both know this isn't the first time you've compared me to him. This is just the first time you said it out loud where I could hear. The repeat of his earlier words hits harder the second time, because he's establishing a pattern, proving this isn't isolated, making it clear he's been noticing for a while. At the party last night, he continues, you talked about him for 20 minutes. 20 minutes of reminiscing about your ex while your husband sat there listening, while our friend sat there uncomfortable, while I tried to change the subject over and over and you kept circling back. I didn't realize he'd noticed, didn't think it was that long, didn't see how inappropriate it was. And that wasn't the first time. You bring him up at least once a week. My ex used to do this. My ex liked that. My ex was good at the other thing. Always comparing. Always measuring me against someone who's been gone for 4 years. I didn't realize. Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing. You've been keeping him alive in your mind. Keeping him as a standard I could never meet. Using him as an excuse for why you're not fully happy with me. He's not yelling. That's what makes it worse. He's just stating facts, calmly explaining how I've been hurting him for years, making it clear this phone call was just the final straw, not the whole problem. I could have lived with that, he says, and his voice cracks slightly for the first time. A tiny break in his calm facade. I could have lived with you having feelings for your ex. I could have worked through that with you if you'd been honest. If you'd said, I'm struggling with these feelings and we'd dealt with it together. I'm sorry, but you didn't. You pretended everything was fine. You pretended you were over him. You let me think I was crazy for being insecure. And then you drunk-dialed him to tell him he was better in bed than me. You humiliated me in the most personal, devastating way possible. I didn't mean to humiliate you. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think I'd do when I heard my wife telling another man, her ex, that he was better than me in the most intimate context possible? Did you think I'd laugh it off? Did you think I'd just pretend I didn't hear it? Did you think I'd stay with someone who thinks about other men during our intimate moments? That last part, that's what breaks me completely. Because it's true. I have thought about my ex during intimate moments with my husband, have compared them, have wished my husband was more like him. Have never fully been present because part of me was always somewhere else. Don't come back, he says quietly, gently, like he's trying not to hurt me even while ending things. I've already talked to a lawyer. Divorce papers will be filed this week. You'll get your half of everything. I'm not going to fight you on assets or anything. I just want this over. I want you gone, out of my life, out of my home, out of my head. You can't just... I can. And I am. You compared me to another man in the most humiliating way possible. You drunk-dialed your ex to tell him he was better than your husband. And you did it in our home, while I was 20 feet away, while sober enough to remember his number, but drunk enough to say what you really think. There's no coming back from that. He picks up the trash bag, holds it out to me. I don't take it. Take it, he says. I don't want anything of yours in my apartment anymore. I spent the last 6 hours packing up every trace of you, every hair tie, every book, every piece of clothing, everything. I want you completely gone. I take the bag with shaking hands. It's heavy, full of 3 years of accumulated life, 3 years of slowly moving in, 3 years of building something together, all packed into one garbage bag. Can I at least explain? I'm grasping at straws now, desperate for anything that might save this. Explain what? That you're not over your ex? I already know. That you've been comparing us? I already know. That you drunk dialed him because you miss him? I already know. There's nothing to explain. You showed me exactly who you are last night. He steps back toward the door, back into the apartment that used to be ours and is now just his. Wait. I reach for him, but he's already moving away. And for the record, he pauses in the doorway, looks at me one more time. I always knew you weren't over him. I saw the way you talked about him, the way you'd get this look when his name came up, the way you'd compare us without saying it directly. I knew. I just hoped you'd eventually choose me anyway. Hoped you'd eventually let him go. Hoped you'd eventually be fully present in our marriage. He's crying now. Actually crying. Tears running down his face that he doesn't bother to wipe away. Guess I was wrong about that too. The door closes. Not slammed, just closed. With a soft click that somehow sounds louder than any slam could ever be. I hear the deadbolt, then the chain, then his footsteps walking away from the door, walking away from me, walking away from us. I try the doorknob anyway, knowing it's locked, knowing he won't open it, but trying anyway because I don't know what else to do. It doesn't turn. Of course it doesn't turn. I'm left standing in the hallway with my suitcase and a trash bag full of my belongings and a marriage that's officially over. Hello, Sani kaut fastiki banir some to do san ow. I move into a cheap extended stay hotel. Small room, beige, everything. Depressing but affordable. I spend 3 days in bed replaying that night, wondering when I could have stopped this, wondering if I even wanted to. Did I drunk dial my ex on purpose? Did I say those things loud enough for my husband to hear on purpose? Was this my subconscious giving me an out from a marriage I was never fully committed to? On day 4, I force myself to shower, to get food. The daylight hurts after being inside for days. Back at the hotel, I check my voicemails, one from my husband. I don't know if you'll listen to this, but I loved you, really loved you, and I knew you weren't over your ex. I saw it, but I thought if I loved you hard enough, you'd eventually love me back the same way. His voice breaks. But you can't compete with a memory. What you said confirmed what I'd feared for 3 years, that I was your second choice, that you settled. The divorce papers are filed. I'm asking for a clean break. I hope you find what you're looking for, but I can't be your backup anymore. Goodbye. The voicemail ends. 167 seconds of him explaining how I broke his heart. On day 7, the divorce papers arrive, served by a process server who catches me in the hotel parking lot. Official, legal, real. Irreconcilable differences, it says. Breakdown of marriage due to infidelity of emotion. Infidelity of emotion. That's what he's calling it. And he's not wrong. I didn't physically cheat, but I emotionally cheated. I kept my ex in my thoughts. I compared them. I never fully committed to my marriage because part of me was still attached to something that ended 4 years ago. I signed the papers. What else can I do? Fight it. Beg him to stay married to someone who drunkenly told her ex he was better. Force him to remain with someone who humiliated him in his own home. I sign them and cry and accept that this is my life now. Divorced at 31 because I couldn't let go of the past. Single because I couldn't appreciate what I had. Alone because I made one catastrophically bad decision while drunk. My friends don't talk to me. They've all chosen his side. All decided that what I did was unforgivable. All agreed that he deserves better. My family is distant, polite but cold. Nobody wants to support the villain of the story. And I am the villain. There's no denying that.